I know you are hoping that I talk about politics today because you just haven't heard enough, right? But if you're like me, you've heard enough talking heads focus on what did or did not happen in the past week that it makes your head just want to explode. We'll talk about the political impact of the election in coming events, but I want to talk about another major story, and it's a little bit different and a bit more confusing. And it's around the cratering of the crypto exchange, FTX, and the mysterious character that led that, Sam Bankman-Fried, also known as SBH in the crypto world. Now, I will warn you, there's a lot to unpack here. So let's dig in and let's try and bring some clarity here. First of all, who is this SBH guy? Sam Bankman-Fried, he was known as the leader of the crypto world, really the savior. And he wore a bunch of different hats. First, he was the CEO of the crypto exchange, so they traded cryptos, called FTX. He also was the CEO of the trading firm Alameda Research. He was also a major political donor, and he was described as the next Warren Buffett and touted really as crypto's savior. Now, SBF is also the accidental poster child of one of crypto's biggest failures. Now, this week, he lost everything. His $16 billion fortune, it evaporated, as well as all of his companies. Now, this happened fast. On November 2nd, it was reported that Alameda Research and FTX were entangled, and they weren't supposed to be, and they were extremely risk-laden. Now, online, there was chatter spreading that FTX was insolvent. They didn't have liquidity. And because of that, there was a run on crypto accounts held at FTX, and there were mass withdrawals. Now, in response, Bankman-Fried, he assured his Twitter followers that all was fine, that it was just a competitor stirring up rumors. Now, a couple days later, he announced that FTX would be acquired by his competitor, a company called Binance. But this fell through really quickly. They were going to buy it for $1, and they said too much risk, not going to do it. And it's because there was this looming investigation of FTX by the feds. Now, on Wednesday evening, Bankman-Fried told investors that FTX was going to go bankrupt without more capital. And on Thursday, he announced that Alameda Research would also be winding down its trades as he looked to raise money for FTX. Now, interestingly, the same day, the Wall Street Journal actually reported that FTX was dipping into customer funds to make its own wild bets. That's a big no-no in the financial world. Now, this is a wild story, even for an industry built on wild stories. And it speaks to the bigger problems in crypto, where fortunes can, quite frankly, materialize overnight and disappear just as quickly with little or no regulatory oversight to ward off disaster. Now, I got to tell you, we don't always appreciate the amount of oversight in the financial industry. It can be a headache at times, but this story sheds light on why it's imperative for investors to have that type of oversight. Now, when the wonderkind of crypto was with a savior complex and he takes this devastating loss, the ripple effect is inevitable. Bitcoin, it's down to its lowest value in almost 2 years. FTT, which was the native token for FTX, it's down more than 97% from its all-time high. And even celebrities are taking a big hit. Probably of biggest note, the recently divorced Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen. They're going to lose most, if not all, of their investment in FTX. Not sure how much they had, but a lot of stuff going on for them this past month. Now, this misfortune's going to have a bigger impact on a crypto bubble. After the doomed FTX Binance deal was announced, most of FTX legal and compliance team, they just quit. And Sequoia Capital, an investor in FTX, claimed that FTX could have possibly overtaken banking giants like Wells Fargo or Bank of America at one time, which is why the venture capital firm used that to justify its $32 billion valuation of the exchange, now worth nothing. This week, Sequoia wrote that their $214 million investment in FTX was going to be written down to zero. So, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's still a poster child for crypto. But now he represents what hubris and lack of oversight and wildly levered amounts of risk can do. And while crypto is exciting, we always need to remember that an underregulated or unregulated financial market can lead to major losses due to unforeseen risk. If you've got questions about this or anything about the financial world, just give us a call or drop us an email. We're always here to help and always enjoy talking and giving you new insight on what's going on either in the news or in the financial markets.